Welcome back, everybody. This is Hawk Talk on Melrose. Switching it up a little bit today. Collin is finally, after multiple three seasons of the show, after being the one to introduce this show consistently, I finally persuaded him to let me do the intro today. So welcome in, everybody. Excited to talk some Wisconsin football, some Wisconsin Iowa football.
Just say Wisconsin
After that,
football.
well, I am excited to talk Wisconsin football because they sucked yesterday and our defense was amazing. So, um, yeah, big win, and can't wait to dive into it today. But thanks, Collin, for letting me do this. For maybe this might be my only opportunity. So we'll see down the line.
Honestly, you did a good job, and you might have to do it from now on. Takes
I don't
pressure off
I
of
I,
me.
I don't want to have to do it every time. You kind of got it down to a T at this point. You've been doing it for so many years. So
I'll give you an A+ effort there. I don't know how we got here, but how in the hell is Iowa 6-1? I will take it, but it is truly amazing how we just keep finding ways to do it. We are the only program that is able to do this, and credit goes to the
yeah.
defense and special teams. But man, we are 6-1. We control our own destiny. Life is good. I mean, I wish the offense was better, but I will take it. I think both you and I had us going up to Madison and losing, and not only losing, but we both had us losing by double digits. So I'll take a win. No, I don't care how we do it. Let's just walk out of Madison with the dub. And like I said, now with our remaining schedule, which we'll dive deep into here in a little bit, we have every right to get back to Indy, just with the schedule and if our defense continues playing like they are. So yeah, but yeah, good job
Well,
on the intro, and let's get right into it.
yeah, and I was just gonna kind of add on to what you were saying. It's like it's almost it's this weird like dynamic of it's so like impressive how we're doing it, but at the same time it's obviously very unimpressive offensively speaking. So it's
Yeah.
like it's just very kind of funny how honestly we continue to even surprise ourselves come these Sundays when we're sitting here and we're like we won 15-6 against Wisconsin. So
David Eichel had a tweet out after the game. It just summarizes Iowa and how
yeah.
this like formula is just working, and I don't know how it is. He put we punted the ball 10 times. We had as many 3-and-outs as we did first downs, which was 9, which is just like crazy to think. Like how? Like more 3-and-outs are the same as first downs. Only 37 yards passing, only 68 yards total in the second half, double digit underdogs, and we won by 9. How is like
That's what I'm saying.
how?
That is that like balance of like you look at the stats and it's so unimpressive, but then you say we won by 9. Like how? Only Iowa. Only
Yep.
Iowa.
And there was obviously 3 reasons yesterday why we got the win, and it starts with the
Yeah.
defense. It was, and I keep saying this on the show the last couple of weeks. Like the defense is really good. It's not as impressive as last year. Like last year was a lot more like flashy, a lot more like you could see how dominant. Yesterday was the first game this year where like you really saw just that dominance, and it really like it looked like last year's defense out there, just all over the field, led by Sebastian Castro. And you take away that first drive, which we always say it never fails. That first drive for opposing teams seems like they go right down the field against our defense. I don't know what it is or why it happens, but it does. Most of the time, we do not let a touchdown happen. Usually it's just a field goal. In this case, they tried going for it. They didn't block our best player. And we turned the ball over on downs, or they did. But yeah, I mean, defense was just pure dominant yesterday. The defensive line, besides the first drive, looked really good. And really, if Wisconsin wants to use the quarterback excuse of what's it, Tanner Mordecai, is that his first name? Getting hurt. In all reality, I think they look better with the backup in. I thought Mordecai looked rattled. He looked like his feet were moving and all over, and he just did not look poised back there. we were definitely getting to him. And their game plan was like, I don't know what their game plan was against us, but the minute he got hurt, their game plan shifted to, okay, let's start running the ball with arguably the best running back in the Big Ten, even though he's a little banged up, but he's still one of the better running backs, Braylon Allen. And they finally went to that, and they did look a little bit better. So they actually looked better offensively with the backup quarterback in, because their game plan shifted to something where they should have done from the get-go. And yeah, I mean, I didn't really understand that, like what they were trying to do. I thought like from the get-go, I was like, give Braylon Allen the ball. Like he's a stud. But I don't know. I just thought defensively we looked really good.
Yeah, that first, I mean, and then like, yeah, the first half, I think a little bit with the Braylon Allen thing. I mean, wasn't he injured a little bit, and they were unsure if he was going to be able to come back. So he, with an upper body injury, they said. So
Yeah.
I know when he came out, dude, that's when they had like how many 3-and-outs in a row? What was it, like 6 or something like that?
They had a lot.
They had a lot, and
They had as many as us,
yeah,
if not more.
yeah. So, like you said, just credit to the defense. That I agree with you. It finally kind of resembled what we saw in a lot of those games last year, where you could just tell it was different, right? And they played lights out. Sebastian Castro kept texting each other consistently throughout the game, just how amazing he was playing, and how really kind of like he's really that unsung hero on defense. He's not the most athletic guy, but I think the TV announcer said it best. Like he's just a hell of a football player, and
Yeah.
you know, his draft stock just rose after last game. I'm almost certain of it. So credit to him, credit to Cooper, and credit to that defense as a whole. They essentially won us the game.
Yeah. Another massive performance by Jay Higgins too. I mean, the dude is so good. And I was texting you yesterday too. It's like, we're doing all this right now, and this is without arguably one of our better defensive players, which is Noah Shannon. And if he comes back, which it sounds like he will at some point, I mean, he's cleared to practice again. He's back on the roster technically. So that pretty much tells you like they think that he is going to be able to play. When, we don't know yet. I would say if it was going to happen, it would be probably after the bye week, the first game in November, because I think that's when the NCAA is voting on this new sports betting rule, is at the end of October. So I would say probably Northwestern, but like, man, like we get him back. We get a guy that is going to be fresh, hasn't played all year. And you talk about, and I said this on the last episode, a dude that just clogs up the middle, pulls double teams because he's so good. Like our defense is, and we'll talk about it here soon because of who we're playing the rest of the way. But yeah, I mean, I think we're going to continue seeing this dominant performance on D.
They're going to have to. Like I mean, there's really like no other way to kind of slice it, right? Like the defense and special teams are going to have to lead the way, and the offense is going to have to just make a play. And then credit, I will say, give credit where credit is due. Like we've had a couple of long touchdown runs that have kind of been our only offense in the last 2 games, and it's been enough. So it's just the style of football that I think we're at a point, and we'll talk about it. We lost another key injury on offense, probably the best receiving weapon we had left, and it is what it is at this point. Like I can't come on this podcast every week and want change, because it's just not gonna happen, right? It's just not gonna happen now. We're so far in the season that it's kind of where it's at, I think.
Yeah, and I'll hinder that here in a little bit when we go kind of through the remaining schedule. 2 other things, like obviously, like going back to yesterday, like how we won that game, defense, Torrey Taylor, some of those punts yesterday were absolutely incredible.
Special teams like the old Torrey Taylor yesterday too.
Yeah, he did.
He always, I mean, it reminisced a lot of that, Big Ten special teams player of the year last year that he got. So he had some huge punts. Yeah,
minus the penalty calls on Jamari Harris. though I think there was 2 back-to-back punts, but minus that, special teams played really good. Obviously we got the field goals made. That helped a lot. Just kind of, taking away some of the pressure on the defense at least. And then, the third reason was what you mentioned, the rushing attack for Iowa. It's actually, if there's been one bright spot on this offense this year, which there hasn't been many, it's been running the football. I think the offensive line, and we talked about this on the last episode where we ranked, the offensive line. I gave it, I forgot if I gave it a B or a C, but I said, I might have gave it a C, but I said we're really close to a B.
I think we gave it a B.
And I think it's because of the run blocking is a lot better this year. The pass blocking is a lot better, but give credit where credit's due. Sean Williams, 174 total yards rushing. Caleb Johnson, 35 yards. We had Seth Anderson with the 16-yard run, which, if you're that's going to be kind of your bread and butter now, just running the football because of how limited we are with the play, with Eric Gall now out, with the backup quarterback. We got to get like Seth Anderson, these guys, like we got to do more of those type of motions, some of those things. I know we tried on that 4th down. I'm not saying do it there, but there's probably other opportunities throughout the game where we could do more of that, but whatever. 16 yards for Anderson. So we had a total of 225 yards rushing for those 3 guys. Now we finished with like 200 yards because obviously some sacks and things like that. So I mean, I guess if you're really not comfortable with Deacon Hill, which at this point, I think it's kind of obvious he's not great, we're going to rely on the rushing attack. And for Wisconsin, who's been selling out on the run last night, I mean, I thought we did a pretty good job being able to get any yards. And I said this the last couple of weeks where it's like, it's kind of amazing that we're even getting like the Purdue game, how we even got that long touchdown run when they're just stacking the box. Like, how does that even happen? Like, if you're an opposing team, if you're a fan, like you have to just be sick. It's like, how? Like, we are literally putting 8-9 guys in the box trying to stop the run, and we still can't. So, I mean, it's obviously for us, it's awesome. I mean, I like to get the run game going. I wish we could up that. Like, I wish okay, you get the run game going. I wish we would be smart enough to, okay, let's do this next possession. Let's do a play action pass on 1st down where they're expecting the run. Let's do something like that. I just feel like we don't do that. We just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. And yesterday, it's one of those things where it's like, I get it. Like, I think that the coaching staff knew the way our defense was playing, like, we're probably going to win this game if we just don't do anything stupid. And, you have Deacon Hill, first time on the road starting. He hasn't looked that impressive yet. Like, let's not do anything stupid. So I can see why yesterday it was very, 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 very vanilla, which we say that word a lot, but yesterday it was very vanilla. And I think a lot of it had to do with let's just get out of here with the dub. The way the defense is playing, let's just not do anything stupid.
Yeah, I was texting you and I was saying, like, when we got up 7-0, they were shutting it down, like, for the most part, right?
Yeah.
They were not gonna give Wisconsin any opportunity for a short field where Deacon makes a mistake, and we were pretty lucky that defensive lineman dropped the ball there, because I really thought we were gonna lose the game off that tip ball, and we talked about it, or we were texting about it and talking about it yesterday, and that second half, we did nothing but just run the ball. We just wanted to waste the clock. You make them use their timeouts at the end of the game and just get out of here with a win. And, for the most part, we were able to do that. We were able to, on that kind of that last drive where we got a field goal, we were actually able to run the ball and get in field goal range, which kind of hits on your point. It's like, if you're a Wisconsin fan, or like, you just got to be like, are you kidding me? We gave up 200 yards rushing to Iowa when all they do is run the ball and they can't throw. So, yeah, it's just the style that we're going to have to play with. And I'll admit I was wrong. I said there was no way Wisconsin was going to give up a long touchdown rush like Purdue did. And obviously I was wrong about that. And I'm happy I'm wrong about that. Because that was a big reason why we won the game. I mean, that even if we didn't score another field goal, technically it was going to be a 7-6 victory at that point. So you could say that was obviously the difference in the game.
Yeah, it was. It really felt like whoever scored first.
Half, yes.
whoever scored that first touchdown, like almost felt like, okay, you not necessarily you won the game, but like you're in complete control the way the game was going. Yeah. Like I said, I just wish, and I hope we can, and hopefully we can build on just the fact that, okay, if we can get the run game going,
100%.
Let's set up the play action pass. Like I just felt like yesterday we just didn't do that. And I get why, I just said it, but I just hope like, okay, moving forward, like next week against Minnesota, you're at home now. You're not playing on the road at Wisconsin. Like if we can get the run game going, let's set up the play action pass with Deacon Hill. Let's do a bootleg. Let's do a rollout. Let's do some of that stuff.
My thing is, he's still a quarterback. You could still throw the ball. Like if you're afraid to throw the ball, I'm sorry. Come on. That is no excuse.
Yeah.
And I'm not, again, I agree. Wisconsin's different. We were up. It's a different situation. I understand the whole thing. Moving forward, like you mentioned, if we are afraid to do a play action pass with Deacon Hill, then what are we doing?
I said at halftime to you, I was like, they're going to expect the run like in the second half, like no other. One of the first couple of possessions, maybe not the first possession we have on offense, but maybe the second possession in the second half. On that first down, we do a play action and we chuck it down the field and just see what happens. And of course we do that, but instead we do it where out of empty shotgun on first down, where it's like they know it's a pass.
They know it's a pass.
Yeah, because there's no running back. Right. It's just Deacon Hill in the backfield. It's an empty shotgun. It's like, why? Like, okay, so if you're going to do it, like do it the other way where it's a play action where they think it's it's a run, like no matter what. Yep. So like, it's things like that. It's just like, come on. I thought for the most part, Brian called a decent game. And I think he's called a decent game the last couple of weeks. There's just moments like that fourth down call. Like if you're not going to kick the field goal at the beginning of the game, do something other than a
dive and turn around and try to hand it off to Nico, who has maybe one blocker out in front of him, and of all people, we handed it to Nico Regani.
Yep, and the blocker was a red shirt or was a freshman because of Eric All getting hurt. Yeah. So like it's things like that just it doesn't make sense to me.
No.
Another thing that doesn't really make much sense, and it's hard to I don't want to sit here and bitch the entire time because we won, but like another thing that is like we have yet to like on second and third or second and 2 or whatever, or third down and 2 or third down and 1. We have yet to like do a QB sneak with Deacon. Like I don't get it. Like he's 6'3", 260 pounds. The only
thing that I can like think of as a reason why is because we don't want him to get hurt or something. But like he's so big that like that shouldn't be, and he's healthy. Like that shouldn't be a concern as it would be for Cade. So
yeah,
I don't get it either. I don't know.
Although I will say this, on that long run, which was I think 3rd and 1, I was like, okay, QB sneak this. And we ended up actually getting a touchdown out of that. And it looked like he was going to get stuffed. Like I legitimately was like, oh my God. I literally thought he was going to get stuffed. And then he did that like juke move and the rest is history.
Yeah.
So,
and I honestly thought that guy that was chasing him down was going to get him.
I did too.
That was my greatest fear. I'm like, we're not going to score now. Watch. We're not going to score a touchdown because we struggle, obviously.
He was definitely getting tired there towards the end. You could just tell.
He played phenomenal. And like you said, credit to LaShawn. He looked, and it wasn't just the long touchdown run. Like even those chunk yards, he was getting up the middle. Like he looked like a stud yesterday, and we needed every bit of it.
I mean, you take away that long run, which was probably 70 yards.
He finished 80, it was an 80 some yard touchdown.
Okay, it was 80. Yeah. I didn't know where we were at on the field. So 80 yards, and he's finished with 174. So he still put up like almost 90 some yards just off of just running, which is still really good. You take away that long touchdown, even if you finish with 90 yards, that's pretty damn good for a running back. I saw a stat last night was just absolutely crazy. Since 2015, when we are leading by 8+ points, we are 68-2, which is just crazy to think about.
Leading by how much you said?
By 8+ points. We're 68-2 since 2015.
We have got, like I said, Collin, when we have a lead, and it's no secret what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
We are gonna make sure that we do not shoot ourselves in the foot, and we're gonna rely on that great defense that Iowa has. And they've, like you just read it, like they've proven it that it works, I guess, you know.
Yep.
The problem is we just got to get that lead. So yeah.
And sometimes that's hard to do,
It's harder
especially
to
trying
do.
to get up by more than 8 points. So what do we do moving forward now? You know, you talked about the injury with Eric All, which sounds like probably going to be out for the year. So it's so unfortunate that, you know, we get our starting quarterbacks out, our two tight end NFL caliber tight ends are out for the year.
Top receiving targets. Yes.
Yep. You know, obviously we've had some injuries at running back. Thankfully, seems like they're all coming back pretty healthy, but you still had some injuries there. I was thinking this last night after the game. I was like, God, can you imagine? I don't know if the offense would be much better, but can you imagine if we had a healthy Cade, and this was before his injury back in August, like a healthy Cade, and we had Luke Lachey out there, we had Eric All out there, like how good we'd be feeling right now because of how good the defense is and, you know, how down the West is. And, you know, we control our own destiny now. But if we had those pieces on offense where it's like you at least feel confident, because like I feel confident.
Better than what we're showing.
Yeah.
Even in the passing game right now, for sure.
Yep. So our offense, I looked at all the stats this morning. So we check in as the worst offense in college football. When you put in all the stats, yards per play, we're 128th, passing offense 131st, yards per pass 132nd, rushing offense 100th, yards per rush 94th, and scoring offense 115th. Yet we are 6-1. We are bowl eligible. We control our own destiny. The formula, I guess, works for Iowa. And the defense, special teams, I guess you can get away with it. And if we talk about this all the time. This is going to be probably the last year that you can get away with it. So I guess if you want to do it, do it this one last year.
Yeah.
You look at the remaining teams, Minnesota, Northwestern, Rutgers, Illinois, Nebraska. I just looked up their stats a little bit. Yards per game and scoring offense. For Minnesota, they're 115th and 101, respectively. Like Northwestern, 119th and 100th. Rutgers, 114th and 82nd. Illinois, 71 and 109, scoring 0. And then Nebraska, 93, 116. So the rest of the way, we do not play a top. Besides
you can get away with this formula against those teams. You should be able to.
Yeah. Yards per game, Illinois, 71. But other than that, everything is above a 75 in either yards per game or scoring offense. So you talk about this defense that is just turning. I mean, it was already good, but it's kind of turning to a new level, especially if we can get Noah Shannon back. Special teams is always going to be good with Iowa. Yeah, I guess when you look at who we're playing the rest of the way, you could probably get by with just being very, very, very vanilla on offense, where all you're really doing is running the football. You take a couple, you throw a little bit, and we'll probably still be, and like the announcer said last night, they're always gonna be close games, but you should win the rest of the games just from the competition that we're playing the rest of the way. And a lot of these games are at home. Minnesota, Rutgers, Illinois. And Northwestern's we only have one true road game left, and that's on Black Friday against Nebraska.
Yeah, and I, like I said, I don't want to make the excuse because I like I said, and I previously mentioned, like Deacon Hill is still a quarterback. He can still throw the ball. But I do understand the level of I can understand that level of being conservative and not wanting to hurt your team by turning it over when you have that lead and stuff like that. I just think I agree. Like I don't know if I can expect our defense to just do that every game. That's my issue. Like, are they going to play that way every single game? Like, I think it's hard to envision that. I still think they're still trending in the right direction. They're still getting better. It seems like they're playing their best football, which is even crazy to say because how good they are. Like now and moving forward, these last couple games like have looked fantastic. And we like I mentioned, we needed every bit of it. And yeah, if Torrey Taylor can continue to flip the field the way he did against Wisconsin, yeah, there's no reason why you can't get away with it. You have to hope that our run game still can do some things and hopefully, yeah, Deacon can complete a few balls when he needs to. So it's not a fun brand of football to watch if you're anyone but an Iowa fan, and some of us Iowa fans still don't think it's very fun to watch. But like you mentioned, this is the last year where I think you can truly get away with it, and I still think you can get to Indy, even if you lose another game, because I think Wisconsin's going to lose to Ohio State next week. Collin, I can't hear you on the mic.
Oh shit, sorry. I had my mic.
Go.
No, I was just gonna say we play Ohio State, or they play Ohio State actually in 2 weeks, but I agree with you. I do not see them beating
okay. Yeah.
Ohio State. So yeah, we could probably afford to lose one more game. It'd be nice though, just it'd be cool to finish 11-1, because that that means that you would win against Nebraska. I still hate that we lost last year to them. It'd be nice to go on the road this year and beat them. And beating Minnesota next week is always fun, because I do not like Minnesota, and it's just a game where it's just hilarious. PJ Fleck, I don't know. So it'd be cool to just win that game again. And but I just think it's now with Eric all out, can we get the receivers now involved? Can we just do it one freaking game? I saw a picture after the game of all the wide receivers with the trophy, and they all had smiles on their face, but it's God, I want that. I just want that for them. I want a game where they ball out, where a couple of those guys just ball out. We get them the ball. And I just feel now even more with Deacon Hill, they're just going to, keep running, which is fine. I mean, like I said, it's going to probably work against the last 5 teams, but it's just that's just my one wish as this year kind of comes to a conclusion, in the next 5 games. Can we just try to get the receivers a little bit involved? And I mean, I'm at the point, kind of you said yesterday, with all these injuries and, with everything and with the way the West looks, if we want to play this brand of football one more year, but once again, and we could talk about this on every episode, and we got to be able to, after this year though, it's not going to work after this year. But if you want to do it this year one last time, it's clearly been working. It's been working the last how many years? I get it, the brand of football, but I hope that after this year.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say, it works enough to get you to Indy. It doesn't work enough to compete in the Big Ten championship.
No,
I think personally, and I
don't not with this style of offense, and especially with injuries that we have. It does not. So, but
it'll get you there. It'll get you there. And don't get me wrong, I want to get there. 100%, that's the goal. And, that's what you strive for every year, to be competitive and get to a Big Ten championship game. With how bad it's gotten on offense, it's going to be very tough to do much in that game. So, and we got to get there first. I mean, there's still 5 games in the season left. So you still got to go out and win these games. And I think a lot of them will be close still. It's just the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's the way it's going to be with this offense.
So, every single game the rest of the way will be close because of the style of just football that we play. And if the offense continues to struggle, which I'm sure it will, Deacon Hill, we're going to have to hope that the defense gets up, yesterday, a safety or, a pick 6. Yep. Yeah. So we got to hope for that too. And in a lot of these games, and really honestly, if you told me for example, the Minnesota game, if you told me right now that we do get a defensive touchdown or something, I say, okay, yeah, we're probably going to win that game then. I mean, it's just the way it's been and how it's been going, where it's if our defense scores, it's it almost feels like an automatic win at that point. It's we probably win. So it's just the way it's been going. But I just hope after this year, because regardless what we finish, if we finish 11-1, for example, that's a great year. We go to Indy, probably lose by a lot, but it's still a good year of going 11-1 and going to a bowl game. I just hope, man, I hope we don't sit here after the season and be well, it was another really good year playing the style. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. I just don't think this is going to work coming up. And it's not me being negative and hating on Iowa and Kirk and everything. I just don't think it's going to work in the new style or in the new Big Ten. So
Yeah.
we can finish this year like this. I'm okay with it. If this is the way it's going to be, it's fine. It's working in the Big Ten West. But after this year, it needs to change. Like, it's now after this year, it's going to be 3 years in a row of just like, you just want to take your eyes
Having one
out
the
of your
offenses.
head after every game because it's so bad on offense. But you find ways to win. I guess that's all that matters. So that will be it for this episode. We'll be back talking a little Minnesota towards the end of the week. Big game today.
Yeah.
Women's basketball inside Kinnick. I'm excited to watch it. Just kind of see, even though it doesn't count towards a winner or a loss, more than likely probably a win. Even though it doesn't count for that, it's still going to be cool to see, and seeing all the fans in Kinnick, and obviously watching Caitlin Clark, and anxious
really
for
cool.
this women's basketball season. I can't believe I'm going to say that.
I
Actually
am
very
100%
excited.
agreeing with you. Yeah, it'll be cool to watch inside Kinnick with all those fans, and hopefully Caitlin puts on a show today.
It would be cool. Like, if
capable.
she comes out with like a bang for like this year, obviously all the offseason, and
Yeah.
she really, I mean, that March Madness really elevated like her status. I mean, she was already really popular before, but like, she is like, just from the March Madness and going to the national championship game, even though they lost.
Now know she
Yeah.
is.
So it'd be really cool if like she could go out into Kinnick and just put up like 40 points today, I should say. It'd be really sweet. But well, that will do it for this episode. We'll be back later this week. Until then, have a good week and go Hawks.